What's up? What's up? Welcome to the Nothing But Net Worth podcast, where we have conversations with prominent coaches, athletic directors, and NIL athletes discussing critical topics around financial literacy, entrepreneurship, and much, much more. My name is Hassan Thomas, former student athlete and current promoter of all things financial wellness. And today, we have former collegiate and professional basketball player and current financial literacy speaker and educator, Miss Stephisha Walton. How are you? How are you, superstar?
Oh, man, I'm blessed. Thank you so much for having me, Hassan. It's a pleasure to be on the Nothing But Network podcast. You know, you guys do big things, and it's a pleasure to be here to speak to the people today. Thank you.
Most definitely. Most definitely. We're going to have a great conversation about your journey and then how that has led up to you helping student athletes in the way that you do. But before we get into that, we like to start off our show with a segment called the Financial Coin Toss. So I'm going to ask you a few either or questions to see where your head's at, all right?
Okay, let's do it.
All right, bet. So the first one is, if we have to offer you $1 million cash money or perfect 850 credit score, which one is more valuable to you right now?
Oh, I'm taking the 850 credit score because I can leverage it. I can leverage an 850 credit score like it's $1 million in cash times 12. Like, there's no way that you can get me to take the $1 million cash, knowing that I can walk into any building, show my ID, and as soon as they run my social, they realize that I don't need to show anything that looks like collateral, just because my history and my habits say that I'm worth whatever it is that I'm asking for. So an 850 credit score, man, that's priceless. Give it to me. That's like taking a penny that double every single day for the next 31 days. I take that over the $1 million cash too.
Hey, you on the road. You on the road. This gonna be a good one. This gonna be a good one.
Come on.
So we're here talking about these student athletes and giving them game. And as you know, something that we didn't get to take advantage of, unfortunately, is name, image, and likeness. So in your opinion, which is more important? How much money they can make through NIL or how much money they keep from NIL?
Oh, you already know how much money they keep. Because at the end of the day, how much money you make, it doesn't matter. You could be the manager at McDonald's and find yourself being financially independent. Whereas you got somebody that makes 6 figures a year and they're in debt and credit card, debt up to their neck. You know what I mean? So it's definitely about how much money they keep.
Yes, we could be all here talking about this money talk, but I want to get in your journey. I want to see, where things really change for you, because I feel like every entrepreneur, every athlete, they have that specific turning point where they're like, okay, I can go play at the next level, or I'm gonna have to find another career path. So for you personally, take us back to your defining moment in high school where you knew that you could play college ball.
In high school, I knew I could make it when I would go to tournaments and I would look up in the stands, and whenever I would do something that was real saucy, like you see the scouts like this, they start writing, or they tap the person that's next to them, right? Like they tap the person next to them, and you like, oh yeah, got him, right? So after my very first freshman game, I played varsity my freshman year. When I say the newspaper reporters lined up after the first game, and when I came out the locker room, they were literally there my freshman year. I realized in that moment, like, it's done. Like it's done. Like there is nothing that anybody can tell me about not being able to make it to college. I just got to do my part.
So for me, it sounds like, one, if you was getting recruited in 8th grade, you was a baller.
No, straight up. As a matter of fact, I got something to show you. Can you hand me those 2 books that are right there? The blue book and the purple book?
Come on, we love receipts.
Right
we love receipts.
You want to see receipts? Go around the other side. However you got to get through there. Oh, you want the receipts? My mom was an advocate of making sure that I understood my greatness. My dad was an advocate of making sure that I didn't take any shortcuts, and for them, I'm forever grateful. Ray Jackson, whenever I did take a half of a shortcut and I found myself on punishment, thank you. And I found myself on punishment somewhere, he would be the one to call my house and say, hey, Sean, are you sure? Are you sure she can't come? Are you sure?
Wow.
Are you sure you can't come? What?
And this is 8th grade or this is freshman year?
This is freshman year. This is freshman.
Okay, all region.
So
as a freshman.
These are all, look. These are all college letters.
Okay, we see them Lady Balls in there too.
Tennessee.
Yup.
Arizona, the
Wow.
Jacks, St. Mary's, Boise. Like, we
So
could go down the list. Auburn.
so
I got
talk
one in there from
about
Temple when Don Staley was there. Come on.
okay. Okay, so
Come
talk about
on.
your recruiting process throughout those 4 years. Was there any surprises, anything that took you for a loop? Talk about that. Talk about the recruiting process for you.
So first defining moment was 8th grade. The second defining moment was when I tore my first ACL. It was my left knee.
Mm.
And
I don't
I
like to hear
was
first,
playing.
as in there's more coming. I don't like to hear that.
There's more coming, but winners make it through adversity, right? Like, how
Yes,
bad did
ma'am.
you want it? So the first one
Yeah.
came my 11th grade year, and it was the summer going into my 11th grade year. Tore my left ACL at a summer basketball tournament with my high school team, and got taken in the ambulance. Long story short, couldn't play my junior year, but I was back within 6 months against doctor's orders. But I was back within 6 months
Yeah.
because I really wanted to play. They were like, maybe you should take like another month. If you can go ahead. But if you can hold up a month, just wait. I'm like, no. I got to make summer season. Like, that's where I really
Facts.
get busy. So by summer, I was back. And then, so
Yeah.
at the end of the summer, I'm feeling good. I'm about to go into my senior year. And we did a good job kind of just riding it out junior year. So at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
summer, normally I'm with my AAU team. This summer, I went with my high school team. And we went to a tournament in Tahoe. I tore
Okay.
my right ACL in the game. And my parents weren't even there. So my
Right
mom was
before
freaking
senior
out, right?
season?
Right before senior season. And so the letters, they just kept coming though, because I had such a presence over summer. Nobody really checked for me during the high school season. And the teams that did,
Uh-huh.
they still asked me, are you capable of getting back? I was like, yeah. So my senior year, right after having my surgery and everything, coming off my crutches, I went on my official visits. I took a visit
Yeah.
to Oregon State. I went to Portland State. I went to University of Rhode Island. And then I
Mm-hmm.
also went to Fordham in New York. And,
Okay.
I went to those different places because I genuinely wanted to see life outside of California, even though I knew I would probably stay on the West Coast. I built some
Gotcha.
amazing relationships along the way.
Oh, man, now I got so many questions going through my head. So I want to get on what made you choose Oregon State out
Mm.
of all of the other colleges that were recruiting you? And I'm asking this for the youngins that are listening
Oh,
so they
absolutely.
can kind of go through your same thought process on why you chose
Mm-hmm.
Oregon State out of those other ones.
Mm-hmm. This is a page out of my playbook that's coming to y'all live in less than 12 months. Listen to me and listen to me very clear.
Mm-hmm.
Do not choose your school for A, the players who are already there. B, do not choose your school for the coaches who recruited you. Those are not the reasons you should be choosing a school. And number 3, do not choose your school based on how much fun you have on your official visit. It is their job to show you a great time, okay? It is your job to make sure, it is their job to make sure that you have a great time in a sense of, ooh, locker room, ooh, photos, ooh, my locker could look like this. Yes, and every other school that is recruiting you, okay? What
Yeah.
you should focus on when you select a school is not what I focused on. When I went on my visit, I was excited because there were people that I knew that was already at Oregon State. Furthermore, I had built a phenomenal relationship with Coach Walia Woods from the 9th grade on out. When I say that was my homegirl through the recruiting process, we watched American Idol. We watched Fantasia win together. That's how much Walia Woods was my homegirl, right? So
Yeah.
I genuinely appreciated her and Coach Judy Spolstra and Coach Judy's son and their entire
For
family.
sure.
When, they came down, my mom literally made them fried chicken and rice, and I believe it was either string beans or corn when they came, right? But she literally made them dinner at our house. So for me, choosing
For
Oregon
sure.
State, it was the family feel for me. It was comfort away from home. And I didn't understand at a young age that you grow outside of your comfort zone, not within your comfort zone. So whereas I could have waited an extra 60 days, taking the SAT again, pop what I needed to do in order to go to Princeton. Pop, I'm out. I'm a tiger. You see what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
But I didn't at that time have that much confidence in myself to say, you know what? One for all of them, or let me just choose the best out of what I got right here. Temple, Columbia, Cornell, Dartmouth. These are all schools that I had access to, but I didn't understand that I should have been choosing it for the network, which would then determine my net worth once I move forward in life. I didn't
Yeah.
understand that if I put myself in an Ivy League type situation, that my roommate might be slightly attached to better situations and opportunities than maybe the person who might have started at junior college, transferred, and now they're my roommate, which is awesome because their personality is phenomenal. But maybe
For
we don't
sure.
think the same way. You see what I'm saying? So
Mm.
when you choose your school, you got to choose your school for what the future looks like, not for what you're going to feel like in comfort once you get there for the next 4 years.
Those are all gems, all great gems.
Thank you.
And I just really what I want to know, because you got to think about it, with the NIL opportunities,
Mm,
these student athletes are student, athlete, entrepreneur. So we as student athletes were already super busy, we're already super packed, but now you're adding a whole different component around it. So
yep.
kind of give us your thoughts of the student athletes that are going through this. Where can you see the balance between student, athlete, and entrepreneur? Like, should they be going hard at all three? Should they
Mm.
focus on the first two and then the third will come? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
The way that I see this is no different than when I got my first job at Marine World in Vallejo at 15 and a half on a worker's permit. The only difference is I was working for somebody else, and I would work 4 hours after school, maybe three days a week, right? And I was happy
Yeah.
about my $225 every 2 weeks because I could
Uh
finally
huh.
get a new outfit. But I was still showing up somewhere outside of school and athletics. Well,
Yeah.
for our student athletes nowadays, it has always been foundationally. You are a scholar first, not a student, a scholar. So we are scholar athletes,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you have to pursue your education because that's your foundation that you're going to stand on. And then secondly, you being an athlete and being a high performing athlete is what gives you your
Yeah.
opportunity to perform at the next level. But then you add this third component onto it. And it is different than having a job. Very, very different, because now you are the owner rather than the employee. So now you have
Fact.
to manage your entire name, image, and likeness, meaning that you have to show up world class everywhere all the time. You don't have room for shortcuts. And if you thought
Mm-hmm.
that you were under a microscope before, you better believe that now you're under two from multiple directions. So when you look at,
Yeah.
okay, how do we teach our kids how to show up? Well, first, we embed financial literacy in the classroom everywhere, because at the end of the day, there's athletes everywhere. So you can't put a student
Mm-hmm.
in a position to go sign, $100,000 contract, $1 million contract, and they have no idea what an interest rate is or what interest period is. You see what I'm saying? Like, that is just
Fact.
beyond me. Like, that's beyond me. And so when it comes down to
Mm-hmm.
it, like, we have to embed it in the classroom, and it has to be universal in a way that regardless of if you're an athlete or a scholar athlete, you are learning those basic financial, like, literacy tools that allows you to make solid financial decisions regardless of
Mm-hmm.
what situation you are in. For instance, rule of
Yeah.
72 works for you or against you, credit card or
Come on.
interest, right? So you learn that and you understand, okay, I just signed a contract, and yeah, I could keep this $200,000 in the bank, or I could at least put it in a money market that might get me 2%, right? So I could do
Yeah.
something, like I could do something. And so I don't know, we have to teach our kids, and it can't just start when they sign the contract. It has to start early. Like I
Mm-hmm.
said, we start with third graders. And if you look at organizations like Next Gen Personal Finance, like, they have an entire curriculum for students, for teachers, for parents. Like, the information is there. We just have to talk about it more because not everybody
For
knows how to
sure.
access it.
Yeah, we have to talk about it, but also, making it completely relevant for
Mm-hmm.
those students that we're talking to.
Yep.
So I just have a couple more
Yeah,
questions
what you
for you,
got?
Stephisha. I want to know just your overall thoughts on
Mm-hmm.
NIL. Is it helping the sport? Is it helping collegiate athletics? Is it hurting it? Just your overall thoughts
Right.
on
I think it's a
NIL.
positive and a negative thing. Mostly positive, though, because I feel like it gives our athletes the opportunity to take ownership in an industry that's already making millions of dollars off of them. And I believe if they're the ones that's showing up, if they're taking
Yeah.
the hits to their body, if they're taking the time to really put their passion on display for everybody else to enjoy, then they should be compensated for that. However, I feel that there's a right way and a wrong way way to do everything. And I feel like there needs to be a solid training system in place for student athletes even before they reach the point of being able to sign a contract. They have to display that they've gone through some level of training and that they understand what's coming before them and that they understand basic contractual terms, even if they have someone working on their behalf. They should still understand what's going on. So I just feel like we could have a tighter system around making sure that our student athletes are properly equipped to make the right financial decisions.
And that's why we're here, trying to give some of that education from our real live experiences and what we've learned from over the years, so these student athletes can get to where they want to be faster. You know, it's taken us time, it's taken us the grind, but if we can have them skip some steps and avoid some of those pitfalls, that's a huge win for these student athletes. And it's a huge win for us, just getting that fulfillment of actually helping the next generation. So, Stephisha, let people know that your final takeaways. If you have any final gems, go ahead and drop that.
Don't get caught up hustling for somebody that got more hustle than you. So make sure that you become an owner, right? And then secondly, you know, it's my favorite thing to remind everybody, walk in purpose on purpose. You were put here for a reason. You were put here to do something special. And whatever that special something is, nobody else on the entire planet can get it done except for you. So if you don't get it done, it's going to go to your grave with you undone. And the world may never understand the greatness that you had to offer. So that's what I got for you, Hassan. Thank you so much, Net Worth Sports. This is awesome, man.
100%.
This is awesome.
I'm glad we were able to have you on the show. How can people get in contact with you? Drop that for us as well.
You can find me on social media, of course. If it's on Facebook, it's Stephisha Walton. That starts with a Y. And then if you're looking for me on Instagram, you can find me at Walton. That's SYCOYWALTON. And you can also find us at Proof GRP, which is our financial literacy page. Is teaching you a lot about what's going on in the financial space. And if I like you enough, I might add you on my personal page at Young Extraordinaire. Just a lot about me and my family. You know, I'm really a champion for LGBTQIA families and making sure that they understand that you have a place to exist. So if you follow me on my personal page, you will see a lot of my life in regards to me, my family, and the spaces that we move in and out of. So I thank you so much for this, Hassan. It was definitely a pleasure to, you know, be here with Nothing But Network. You know, and I think what you are doing is absolutely phenomenal. And I thank you so much for inviting me into your space and allowing me to touch your listeners. And I just really pray that all the information you continue to give doesn't fall upon deaf ears.
100%. And I thank you. I feel honored that I was able to get the follow on both pages. So I feel like we already like this. So I'm happy about that. And you know, just everybody listening, take some of those gems that we talked. I know we talked about a lot here today, but if you can take one or two gems and implement them today, I promise you, over time there will be large results from those implementations that you did here. So again, Stephisha, thank you so much. And y'all already know, if you're looking for a podcast to be educated, motivated, and inspired to not only stay in the game, but to change it, the Nothing But Net Worth podcast is for you. See y'all next week.